Released in 2017 by the small developer team Team Cherry, Hollow Knight has become a big hit in the gaming community. Going even as far as achieving the biggest privilege a game developer could get: merchandising.
What? No, dude!
The game itself is a Metroidvania platformer with secrets and adventures to be had in every nook and cranny, enemies and bosses to fight everywhere you tread, with a crisp art style that's so easy to love. This is my review / analysis of Hollow Knight, where I'll explain the game itself and what I make of it. I will review gameplay, story, endings, and other factors that the game has to offer. So, without further ado, let's jump in, swinging our nails into the game that created countless careers on YouTube, into the world of Bug and Beast, and the bane of my f***ing existence, the Pantheon of Hallownest. Let us review Hollow Knight. When starting a new game, you're shoved right into a tutorial known in the game as the King's Pass. Here you're told the basics of combat and platforming, and how to heal and dodge. You then make your way to the fading town also known as Dirtmouth, where there's nobody except this one guy that nobody really pays attention to until their second time passing through. Ascend the well near the town and enter the Forgotten Crossroads. The real adventure begins. Putting your combat skills to use and exploring, you will eventually find this humming bastard. He sells maps. That's it, the dude's a cartographer. However, this will be very useful for your adventure. Explore further and you will haha, screw you! You're not ready for a boss fight, but here you go. You're welcome! Jokes aside, the False Knight is pretty easy to beat. If not, just escape through this hole at the side of the arena.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
Eventually you find this mage that gives you the Vengeful Spirit ability. That allows you to leave the crossroads and enter Green Path. In this mossy and floral zone, you find a woman wielding a nail just like us. She leads you to the left of Green Path, where she battles you. Her name is Hornet and is the sworn protector of Hallownest. Defeating her in battle will allow you to collect the Mothwing Cloak. This is one of many traversal upgrades that you'll get along your journey. This specific one lets you dash forward. Before Hornet leaves, she tells you about this weird orange infection that's infected nearly all of Hallownest, reviving corpses and corrupting dreams, wills, and mind. The next important place of the story is known as the Resting Grounds, which seems to be some sort of graveyard for most of the bugs of Hallownest. In here you'll find a monument that, when interacted with, upon waking up, it appears that you've been kidnapped by this, psychic moth or something. I don't. Her name is Seer, and she tells you that in the crossroads resides a black temple that's locked up. The key to the temple is 3 creatures that are in a deep, eternal slumber around Hallownest. These creatures are called Dreamers, and must be killed from the inside of their mind to unlock the temple doors. Seer provides us with the Dream Nail, a powerful weapon that reveals the thoughts of anything struck with it. She also tells us that we have to unlock the Dream Nail's full power by collecting something known as Dream Essence. So, Seer's plan is to go into the minds of the Dreamers, steal their hopes and dreams, crush them into fine dust, and have the Dreamcatcher with a handle snort to regain its power. Cool! By killing all 3 Dreamers, the doors to the Black Temple open and you can finally fight the final boss. So should you? Well, no, this is a good time to tell you that the final boss is tough and you should get stronger before considering battling it. I suggest finding all 6 Infinity Ores to upgrade your nail to max power and collect more mask shards and charms. So should you fight the final boss now? Well, no, this is a good time to tell you that there's multiple endings to the game and you need a specific order to get them all. Excuse me, Team Cherry. What the fuck?! The final boss's name is the Hollow Knight, the son of the king that sacrificed himself to contain the very source of the mind infection talked about earlier. The first and easiest ending is the Hollow Knight ending, where you just waltz right in there and endure the hellfire that the second coming of Hades has to throw at you. If successful and you defeat the Hollow Knight, the next thing you do is focus the infection to yourself and contain it, effectively replacing the Hollow Knight. Now, the second and third endings are more complex. Hornet asks you in the City of Tears to find the Void Heart Charm. Collecting this thing is a bitch and a half, so first go to Kingdom's Edge to find the king's birthplace. Find the cadaver of this giant worm, head inside, and find the King's Brand, which pretty much means you're the new ruler of Hollow Nest and this kingdom, but whatever, that's not that great, right? This unlocks the Abyss, a dungeon of thousands of discarded vessels created by the king to contain the source of the Mind Plague, but left here to rot. So you found your origin story, good job, here's the star sticker, let's get out of here. In the Queen's Gardens you'll find this thing next to this thing, got it? Go inside that thing and meet the White Lady, who is the Queen, and your mother. Yeah, it's confusing, but search up Hollow Knight lore and you'll get your answers. She gives you half of the King's Soul Charm, the next half is hell to get. Go to this body only after your Dream Nail has stored 2,200 lines of Dream Essence. Enter its mind and you're now at the King's actual castle, also called the White Palace. You now have to get to the king, located at the top, which shouldn't be that hard, right? Oh fuck. So you're now at the top with the king's corpse, and as any rational person does, you rob his body and collect the second half of the charm. You now have the full King's Soul charm, that when equipped, gives you unlimited soul, which would be cool if it didn't fill up so goddamn slow and took up 5 fucking slots, so it's kinda designed to be useless. Good thing it opens a secret room in the Abyss that lets you change it to the Void Heart charm. But this charm can't be unequipped, so the Hollow Knight ending is no longer accessible. Hornet will now be standing outside the Black Temple, and when you find the Hollow Knight just like before, she will intervene and pin him down. If you stand there like a dumbass and just watch, the Hollow Knight gains the upper hand and knocks Hornet unconscious. If you kill the Hollow Knight just like before, you get the Sealed Siblings ending, where you become the new Hollow Knight and Hornet becomes the dreamer that keeps the temple locked. The final ending is called the Dream No More ending, where Hornet intervenes and you dream nail the Hollow Knight to be taken inside its mind. This is where you fight the Radiance, the god of moths, light, and the source of the Mind Plague itself. And it is a bit ironic that a moth is the goddess of light, because, you know, moths tend to, well, you know. The battle has 5 phases and every attack takes 2 masks of damage, so good luck. Defeating the Radiance allows the Void to kill the infection across Hollow Nest. Hornet is seen leaving the temple, and we see the shades of the other vessels in the Abyss finally get put to rest. Hollow Knight has 4 DLCs. They're all great. Hidden Dreams DLC. This DLC goes deeper into the lore of the King's Royal Guardsmen, more specifically the Dung Defender and how he got into the position he's in. It adds 2 new boss fights and a new convenient sag station that saves possibly hours of time. The Lifeblood DLC. This was more of an update that added visual and technical enhancements to the experience, as well as adding a room in the Abyss which you need 15 masks to enter and collect the Lifeblood Heart Charm. It's very useful. It also added the Hive Knight boss fight. The Grim Troop DLC. This DLC adds a whole new side story to the game. This demonic-looking circus, led by the Master Grim, has come to Hollow Nest to harvest Nightmare Essence to sustain the higher being that they worship. The Nightmare Heart. Talking to Grim for the first time, he tasks you with collecting essence to feed the Grim Child, which is going to be the next vector for this Nightmare Circus. Now there's also a new boss fight that will make you reach the nearest blunt object to fucking kill. Charms this DLC adds are Sprint Master, Weaver Song, Dream Shield, Grim Child, and the Carefree Melody. You now also have the possibility to upgrade your fragile charms into unbreakable ones for a hefty price.
I am never gonna financially recover from this.
The Godmaster DLC. This added a whole new NPC titled Godseeker that when dream nailed will transport you to the God Home. Welcome to Hell, by the way. Yeah, this is Hell, and you're in here. Welcome to Hell. You're in Hell. Because this is where the Pantheon of Howlnest is, which is the challenge of combat. The challenge is to fight every boss in the game in one life, starting from the Vengefly King to the Absolute Radiance. If successful, you get to embrace the Void ending, where this happens and this and... You know, I don't really know what's happening, but defeating this Radiance kills the infection in Howlnest and releases this monster that catches Hornet off guard. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, all jokes aside, Hollow Knight is probably among some of my favorite games of all time. But this game is just a breath of fresh air and it has a fantastic world and art style. Every character is memorable and they don't seem like they're empty husks of code and flash documents, they all have character. The combat is tight and responsive and the traversal abilities often double up as combat tools, and you can customize them as you want. The lore, story, and rules of the world of Hollow Knight is a bit all over the place. The game does a bit too much of the not explaining, and in some cases that's a good thing. Games don't always have to explain the lore and story beneath the surface, it helps convey the mystery. But when the same dev team has to make comics about the story behind the game following a side character you meet in the original for like a few seconds, then something has to be wrong. I mean, they give no information about what this thing is, or this thing. But oh well, I guess we'll have to wait for the sequel to come out. Wait, there's a- WHAT?!